Yeah?
Welcome, hey, to the April Vintners Series 2013. And Ed had a really good idea once. What was it?
When?
Was it the first time since when?
I don't know, 2012?
It's been a while, so we really appreciate it. Well, not to exclude the fact that, you ran some ads in the 1969 PV News for PV Liquor.
That's true.
Okay, so 3 years later.
3 years later, I told your father that the Wine of the Month Club was not a good idea.
Okay, good.
Who's going to spend that kind of, who want to get 2 bottles of wine every month for crying out loud? It didn't make any sense.
It didn't make any sense, and not only that, because who would spend that kind of money? Because you and I just looked up the April 1973. What's that?
Well, that would have been the classic series. I would
40
say
years
that
ago.
for the classic series. But it's okay, because there was no Vintner series.
No, there wasn't even a series, but I think everybody should see.
Yeah.
289, a fifth.
A fifth, right.
Now, see, here's what I always thought. Let me ask you this is correct. A liter, which would be a liter, they would call it a fifth, which if I determined at one point that a fifth is 1/5 less than a liter.
No, a fifth is a fifth of a gallon. That's how it came.
So my calculations are inaccurate.
Yeah, it's obviously it was changed 750 milliliters, which is like an ounce more than a fifth.
That's right. It's like 27 ounces.
Yeah, Can we get on with the wine?
Okay, so now let me ask you a question. This is important stuff. So if you were to pour a glass at a restaurant, what are you getting? How many ounces?
Well, it could be anywhere between 4 and 6 ounces.
Because usually they ask you get 5 glasses to a bottle of wine. Wine being 27 ounces, you're going to get a little over 5
You're going to get a little over 5 ounces, right? 5 ounces per pour, which is about average. Now, some places do 6. They charge a little bit more. Because some people, that's all the wine they want.
Because don't you like when you go to the thing and they got those big glasses like these, and then you get a ½ inch?
Well, but the reason for that is so you can smell the wine better.
And charge more for less wine.
Well, then there's that.
Like the other day, I went to a bar. It said half price drinks, and I go, yeah, they're half price because they're half size. If you see the martinis that came in this little stupid glass. Hey, this is the Baron de Maxime Marlot. This is actually, guess who brought this in? Christina Coloritas from Plume Ridge, from way back.
Christina, I adore Christina. She's a doll.
And she just brings in tons of wine.
Well, she's the daughter of the one of the first wine buyers for Trader Joe's in Pasadena. Great guy, passed away just a few months ago. Well, a few years ago.
And the guy that actually made Trader Joe's wine what it was, right? The guy that sourced all these great deals.
No, he did a phenomenal job, and they haven't been the same since, to be quite honest with you.
This is a Reserve Merlot from the Vin de
This is
South.
fabulous
stuff.
stuff.
Great wine.
I mean, this is really, really good. This almost tastes like Bordeaux. I mean, it's got so much Bordeaux-like qualities. In the nose and the flavor, it's elegant, it's delicate, and yet it's still red wine. It's not white wine for red wine drinkers.
No, in this price range, you're going to get a lot of bubbly fruit, not bubbly, but fruity, fruit forward, lots of berries. This has actually got some old world character to it.
It's got some nice soil components, but it's still got some fruit. I mean, it's
got tons of. What's a Merlot?
Yeah, $12.99.
$12.99 on the reviewer, $20.99 on the shelf. Great bargain, and just from an old friend from way back in the business. And whenever she comes in, you just go,
It's getting better.
I know, it's good.
That's really good.
I ran it through the area the other day, and I really enjoyed it.
I remember back when Bob was involved in this operation, I think you were buying like tons of wine from them.
We did. We bought a lot.
They were everything they come through with was good. This is great. I'm giving this a 95. I think this is tremendous.
95 for me too. They opened the restaurant. Leo had the restaurant there, and he's out of that now. Okay, this blew me away. This Reposo. It's Gewürztraminer and Muscatel. Gotta rinse this glass.
You don't see that very often.
No, and it's Spanish. And it's an '08, so I was a little late, but look at the color. It's fresh as ever. And the nose will just knock your socks off, and the balance of the wine. I just love this wine. I just kept drinking it, tasting it, drinking it.
It's a little woodsy, a little pineish, but not wood as an oak, but wood as in you're out in the fresh woods, Like this is a trip to Muir Woods up in Northern California for those of you in the back east,
I've been there. I don't know. Every time I taste, I keep tasting. It's showing its age, of course, but
really
it's
not.
Got wonderful flavor.
I would never
components.
guess this wine was 4 years old.
And it's Muscatel. When's the last time we saw that?
Well, Muscatel is not Muscat.
I know.
Okay, it's a totally different grape. It has some similarities in the flavor, but it's a very what we call nervy grape. It's got a lot of nerve to it. It's really hard to. It's like Riesling. It's hard to kill it. It's hard to make it too old. You
It's
know,
a lot tighter than its counterpart. I don't know if it's a sugary grape though, is it?
well, yeah, of course they make Moscatel out of it in
that's right,
Portugal.
sweet wine.
You know, I mean, it's really sweet wine. You know, they oxidize it, and you know, it tastes. It's great. I love Moscatel. You don't see it very often because it's too much associated with the guys in the you know, on the street back in the '50s that had Moscatel in the bag. You know. Which I still do, just for old time's sake, you know.
Well, that's the stuff I remember from my dad's liquor store, was stocking itself with, you know, Moscatel. San Antonio's Moscatel. Right?
That's it. $19.99 on the shelf, $11.99 on the reorder price, and this is a great wine to go with challenging food like ham and turkey and those holiday things that
I
you
can
get.
see ham,
you know,
totally.
and shellfish. You know,
94 for me.
I'm
like
doing
it.
a 94 as well. I think it's a fabulous
I think
wine.
it's super. And from an unusual vendor named Rio Joe.
Rio Joe's, yes, I remember reading about that.
I don't know where he.
I don't know where half these people get half the stuff
I
they
don't
do.
know.
Okay, I have no idea.
I got a call from a winery this morning. This Sacred Hill, no, Sacred something, Angel, I don't know what it was. And he goes, "Yeah, we were going to do a deal before, and I don't know what happened." I'm like, "Well, you probably never sent me the samples."
Oh, well, you want samples now?
Yeah, and he's like, "Well, you know, I want to tell you about my wine." I said, "Look, send me the samples. We'll taste it. If we like it, we'll let you know." I mean, that's the way it works, right? Because I don't know where these guys come from. They show up out of nowhere.
And you know, nowhere's a pretty big place. There's a lot of people there.
A lot of wineries. What is the appellation nowhere? Is it? Is that AVA?
I think it's in the Central Coast, but I'm not sure. You know, it's actually probably in Santa Cruz. You know, that mountain air does things to people, really crazy things.
Is another surprise.
This is a great wine. I mean, I love Petite Sirah. I just really love this grape, and people are starting to make it
this
again.
one, it wasn't like so much tannic acid that you. It's actually really well balanced. It's softer than most Petite Sirahs. At the same time, it's not as verbose in the middle palate either. It's just got a nice, smooth transition.
Super wine. Really, really nice bottle of wine. So, $19.99 on the shelf was a great price for Petite Sirah because there's so little of it now, and it does have aficionados. $12.99 on the reorder. You can't find Petite Sirah like this.
This is going to open up too. This is really
Yeah,
gravelly forward. This is pair it with full-flavored hearty meat stews and soups. Oh wow, that was dramatic.
Well, that was
really
certainly
going on a
new.
limb.
Boy, they're really carving new ground here. But regardless of that, I'm giving this a 95 too. I think this is really, really nice wine.
I love the balance of it. It just not too much acid.
Yeah, Petite Sirah can get pretty acidic because it tends to overcrop.
Here's our friends from Lang Twins up in Lodi, and it tends to be sort of a woody component in this wine, but it's very light in the nose.
Yeah, it's got a little nice spice. Got some white peach components in here. I really have liked everything I've tasted from them. I've never heard of these guys until you picked them up, and everything I've tasted has been really good, solid value.
Now I remember this wine. It doesn't have any grass, really. It doesn't have any of that component. It's California, but mostly Lodi. It's just a nice bottle of white wine that doesn't have any major directional points, It's not grassy and it's not grapefruit.
No, but it's got good fruit. And it's got a little bit of grass and a little bit of grapefruit and a little bit of this, a little bit. It's not overpowering in any one shape, And
I'm getting the grapefruit now.
This is a really, really nice Sauvignon Blanc. $25.99, probably a little overpriced at that. $11.99, yes, we can do it for that.
Yeah, 25 is a little high, but that's what they sell it for in the winery.
That's what they think they sell it for at the winery. But here at the Wine of the Month Club, it's less than half of that.
I wonder if there's any real Lang twins there.
Yeah, there are. They're named after two twins named Lang. They got their picture on the website.
Well,
And the odd thing is they look alike.
the other thing that we figured out was we found an unlabeled bottle of this, and we took the label and we put it this way, and it works.
Oh, yeah.
Either way.
I think that would look even better now that you mention it. For those of you that read sideways, well, I'm giving this a 94, and that's our show for the Vintners series.
94 also, and thanks for coming, and we'll see you on the flip side of AB. There's no flip sides on a CD, is there?
There can be.
Side A?
Yeah, they do that once in a while.